741 Victor X-ray, Jackson, around the altimeter 29906.
Previously on FS Mania, it was an early morning at the Grand Strand Airport in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We climbed aboard the beautiful Daher, formerly Socata, TBM 900, buckled up, and departed on a 465 nautical mile cross-country trip to Sarasota, Florida. We are currently at our cruise altitude of flight level 260, preparing for the descent into Sarasota. Welcome aboard, buckle up, and enjoy the flight. So we're about 140 miles from Gainesville. It's really not too early to start looking at the arrival into Sarasota. So I'm going to bring up the ForeFlight and let's just check in on the weather. ForeFlight. Right there you are. And let's go over to airports, airport tab, and looking at the weather. It looks like that wind is 110 at 4, so I think runway 14. And clear below 12,000, altimeter 29906. Let's just check the TAF, terminal area forecast, and 2 a.m. Let's go to 11 a.m. So wind's going to be clocking around. But currently, and that METAR was 42 minutes ago, it's 110 at 4. So I think we can probably plan on runway 14. Now, I want to check into the arrival, and the arrival that we are going to use is the Trapper 3. That looks fine to me. So let's go back to our flight plan page and click on procedure, arrival, Trapper 3, Jorpo transition, best wind, runway 14, add that to our route. And while we're at it, let's get ourselves an approach. So the approach, best wind, GPS, runway 14, I like that. And I'm going to put in the whole approach. So that is the intermediate approach fix of, nope, I want peso, not pi, and pi is St. Petersburg, I think. I'll have to check myself on that. But anyway, there we have our approach, and all that looks good. So I'm going to close the flight plan, and just to zoom us out here on our flight, there we are. So we're headed to Gainesville right now, and then Lakeland after that, and then we'll be on the arrival once we get to Jorpo. So we're going to plan some descent here in just a moment, but first let's reorient that and let's close it, and we'll go in and set up our Garmin. Here we go. I got a view already set in here. So let's look at our flight plan. And we've got Gainesville to Sarasota, but we want to put in a arrival. So select arrival, enter. Actually, let's go back. Try that again. Oh, I see I had approach highlighted. There we are. Now I see Trapper 2. Our nav is out of date. That's okay. And we will put that transition in there. Tango Alpha Yankee, but we're going to take it right out. So 14 is what we want, and let's load that and let's review it on the flight plan. So you can see we have Gainesville in there twice, Gainesville. So let's clear Gainesville. Okay, and let's clear Taylor. And say okay there. Clear it. Okay. So now we'll go Gainesville, Jorpo, Trapper, and this is Lakeland right here. So Trapper, if we look at the approach plate, let's bring that up here. Bring up ForeFlight. So if we look at the Trapper 3 arrival. As you can see, we need to plan turbojets, expect 13,000. So we're going to set up some VNAV here. And there's Trapper, and let's punch in 13,000. And we'll enter that. And from there you can see we have 24 minutes to top a descent. I think we want to cross Lakeland. I'm going to set this up just anticipating what we're going to get from ATC. There we go. Lakeland at 8. And then Lifey, we want to cross that one at 3. Seems about right. Let's put that in. Okay, now then we have Route and then our vector. Okay, so now I want to put in the approach. So let's go back to procedure, and now we'll select the approach. So GPS, RNAV, there we go, LPV 14, confirm, enter, and we'll put in again the whole approach, so the peso intermediate approach, enter. I do not want a course reversal, and we'll use the baro minimums, and looking at the plate, which I have here, 230 feet. So 2, 3, and enter that, and we will load it and then review it. Make sure it all makes sense. So the vector, and then we have the approach, and there's the intermediate approach fix at 2,000. That's what we want there. And then the final approach fix, frugal. And then to the runway, and then the missed approach. Go to Murdo at 3,000. Okay, all that is hunky-dory, so we'll set up some radios and we'll be all set to descend here shortly. Now out from our top of descent, as you can see here on the flight plan, about 30 miles from Gainesville. Still talking to Jacksonville Center, and we're going to want to get lower at some point, and if they don't give it to us, we'll ask for it. We're monitoring right now on COM2. We are monitoring, listening out for the ATIS, so we should be hearing that hopefully sometime during the descent on the Trapper 3/2 arrival. Sky conditions still look pretty docile this time of the day. It's a good time to fly if you ask me. We're about 2 minutes and 50 seconds away from our calculated top of descent. Let's give center a call. Center, TBM 7 X-ray Mike would like lower.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, descend pilot's discretion, cross Trapper at 13,000.
PD to cross Trapper at 13,000, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. And we are in the turn. So we'll dial ourselves down here to 13,000. Is set. Verify that. Yes. And we will select VNAV. Verify we have VPath. We're holding steady at 260. And we expect to start descending in 1 minute and 38 seconds, give or take. So while I have a few minutes, we're waiting on that. And then we'll monitor our torque on the way down and don't over torque. There's the message. Just to say a few parting words here, if I don't have time during the approach phase. X-Plane. I have enjoyed getting to know X-Plane. I'm looking forward to getting to know MSFS starting next week. It releases on Monday the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Today is Friday the 14th. Okay, thank you very much, ForeFlight. Actually, that was not ForeFlight.
Destination ATIS is 124.375.
That's ForeFlight. The first one was Garmin. Anyway, yes, X-Plane, it's got a lot of pluses, and I do think it has the best chance of being a contender to keep up with MSFS. Certainly when they do a new release with the Vulcan graphics engine, hopefully that will give them an opportunity to up their game, particularly in the weather department. Probably one of my lesser favorite things about X-Plane is the weather depictions just not quite up to what we would hope for, what I would hope for. Okay, here comes our vertical path, and so I'm going to ease our power back. But I'm very happy that we have such high quality, high fidelity simulators. Certainly a lot different from when I first started Microsoft flight simulation back in the, when was it, mid 80s or so, with the very first release. So yes, we've come a long way, and surely can't complain too much about that. These click spots drive me nuts. Bollocks every time I try to zoom something in, especially if there's any turbulence at all. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. That's all I know to say. It's just aggravating. It is probably pilot error, no doubt. So looking at our descent here, we're coming down at 1,500 feet a minute. That's fine. We're holding our path. That's good. And all is well with the world. And we'll monitor our torque on the way down. And we should be crossing Trapper at 13,000.
Sarasota Tower Information Whiskey, 1154 Zulu. Wind 120 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 2.23. Altimeter 29097. ILS runway 14 and GPS runway 14 in use. Advise on initial contact you have Whiskey. Sarasota Tower Information Whiskey, 1154 Zulu. Wind 120 at 4.
We have Whiskey. Altimeter for Sarasota is 29097. Jot that down so I don't forget it. We're still above flight level 180, so 29097 altimeter. We'll set that. Actually, I could go ahead and set it up here just as a reminder. That wouldn't be a bad idea. There we go. So just remember, when we go from Baro to standard, from standard to the altimeter setting, then we will change it there. Copy that. Bottom of descent, 1 minute.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, contact Tampa, approach now 119.65. Good day.
Tampa on 119.65, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Enjoy your day. All right, we've already got them pre-selected. All we have to do is hit the flip-flop and we'll have them.
10.
Good morning, Tampa approach, TBM 317 X-ray Mike, leveling at 13,000. We have Whiskey.
TBM 317 X-ray Mike, Tampa approach, descend and maintain 8,000.
Down to 8,000, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Okay, they cleared us on down to 8, so let's dial that down. We'll use the vertical speed to get there, and keep an eye on our vertical track. And I say we start down at about 1,200 feet a minute. We'll see how that does. Looking on our flight plan, on our map here. So Lakeland's up there. We've got a few miles before we get there. And we're all set up for our approach when we come in to Sarasota. We've got the GPS RNAV 14 approach loaded, coming down through 10,000. We will make ourselves a little bit easier to identify. Let's put the pulse on and the taxi light, and that will get someone's attention if they're not paying attention. And here comes 8,000. The autopilot's captured it, leveling us off. Torque set at 85%.
TBM 317 X-ray Mike, Tampa approach, descend and maintain 3,000.
Down to 3,000, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. All right, as expected, we got it, so we'll use the BS mode again, and down we go. We'll do about 1,000 feet per minute this time. Come back on the power a little bit. And we'll go ahead and start reducing our power, get us down below that 200 knot speed so that we can get our inert SEP out. And we're in the turn. And so inert SEP's coming out. And we do have all our lights set properly. Everything looks good there. Start getting slowed up. And off there in the distance is the Skyway Bridge over Tampa Bay. And I gotta tell you, I have driven over that thing a few times, and it is terrifying to me for some reason. It's, I think, about 180 feet off of the water, but I don't know why that bridge bothers me so much. I believe it's also a cable stay bridge, like the one in Charleston, but I don't mind going over the one in Charleston, but that one, I feel like there's a inert SEP, thank you. Feel like I am really high up in the sky, and I do know that there was an incident where a ship hit the bridge. I think it was maybe the one before this, and cars tumbled off of it. So for some reason, if I'm up that high, I want some wings. Okay, let's get concentrated in on our approach. To be ready, I'm looking down at, I got the plate up on FlywithLua as well. There you can see it. And we're slowed up nicely here. I think we'll come back just a little bit slower.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, descend and maintain 2,000.
Down to 2,000, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Okay, we're getting a descent down to 2. And I think we'll get our approach set to activate it, so we'll be able to use vectors to final, assuming we're getting those. Otherwise, we'll activate the approach. vectors to final should work fine for this.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, turn left heading 230.
Left 230, TBM 7 X-ray Mike, as I anticipated. And I'm going to go ahead and activate those vectors to final so we have a target. So all I need to do is hit enter here. There we go. Vectors to final, frugal, that's good. And I'm sure we're going to get another turn before we get there. Probably 190, I would imagine. So I'll turn us over to that. Our speed's coming down. There's 189, 190.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, 6 miles from Frugal, turn left heading 190, maintain 2000 until established, cleared for the RNAV 14 approach.
190, 2000 until established, cleared RNAV 14 approach, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Alright, we have been cleared for the approach and turned to the heading that I thought we were going to get turned to. And we are level at 2000. I can see we've got some vertical guidance. And let's see, what's our cross track? Still about 2 miles there. Hopefully we'll get established before Frugal with any luck. We're 5 miles from Frugal. Let's zoom us in here a little bit. Wrong way, as per norm. There we go. Now we can see what we're about. Alright, inert SEP is out, and we are looking for we're looking for the intercept the final approach course and watching the glide slope. The RNAV 14 approach. I've got the tower set up already in COM2. See, we're getting close, so I'm going to help us out a little bit. And I can see that we can now go into the approach mode, and we'll let the Garmin capture the final approach course, and we wait for the glide slope. I see the airport and the runway. Glide slope's alive. Add just a touch of power in here. Just a touch. We're half a mile from Frugal. Gear coming down. And approach flaps down and indicated.
TBM 7 X-ray Mike, contact Sarasota Tower 120.1.
Over to tower, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Good morning, Sarasota Tower, TBM 317 X-ray Mike, RNAV 14 approach.
TBM 317 X-ray Mike, Sarasota Tower, land 1004, runway 14, cleared to land.
Cleared to land 14, TBM 7 X-ray Mike.
1100 Sarasota Tower, runway 144, runway heading until advised, clear takeoff.
Alright, just a smidge above glide slope, so I'm going to ease back on the power slightly here. There we go. And I'm I want to bring the speed down into the white arc there so we can extend the rest of our flaps. So we'll pull the power back just a little more here. Get it slowed up. There we go. Full flaps. And gears down 3 green. Inert sep's on. Fuel looks good. Flaps full. Landing and indicating.
TBM 3 mile final runway 14.
I will extend our downwind in here for the mid-call.
Slightly above glide slope still, but it's capturing, so we're okay. 95 knots here. And
2 mile final runway 14.
thank you for flight. 2 miles from the runway. Scoot your power. Don't want to get too slow. There we go. Autopilot yaw damper to go. .670 on the radar altimeter. 95 knots. Ease off the power. Just do a scooch. Like to cross the numbers doing 85.
500.
Check. Stable. Add in just a little more power. Just hold that 85 knots right there. Autopilot away. Landing.
Cessna 100, turn to just heading of 210. Traffic at Skyhawk on a 2 mile final, runway 04.
100-210, thank you.
Free there, Papa, runway 4 clear for the option. TBM traffic just touching down, runway 14.
Runway 4 clear for the option. 3930, hello.
I'll take that. Reverse. Get on the brakes. And see a taxiway light. That doesn't seem right. 40 knots.
TBM FedEx Red Mike, left next taxiway, contact ground, point 8.
Left next taxiway, contact ground on point 8. TBM 7 X-ray Mike.
Cessna 100, proceed on course.
Clean up the airplane and we'll switch over to ground.
Victor, Mike Whiskey, runway 14, taxi the Alpha.
Flaps up. Let's take off our strobes and the pulse lights. There we go. Good morning, Sarasota ground. TBM 317 X-ray Mike, just off 14. Like to taxi to shelter.
TBM 317 X-ray Mike, Sarasota ground, taxi via Charlie, left on Juliet.
Charlie, left on Juliet, TBM 7 X-ray Mike. Okay, there's Charlie right here. Hang a right. All right, so we'll call that a day. About ready to hang it up with X-Plane. I've had my problems. I do think one of the issues that X-Plane and FSX have had is they do require a lot of add-ons, and even though those add-ons may work well with X-Plane, sometimes they don't work well with each other. And that creates problems for the users, and we have to put on all these add-ons to have decent weather. AI traffic has been one major headache. Weather and traffic, two of my problems in X-Plane, among others. Yeah, it's hard sometimes just to get everything to play nice together, and it'll be nice to try out a sim where it comes out of the box in such a state that you don't have to start modifying things right off the bat. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it for what it's worth. We shall see how things go. So the first part of this flight was Ortho 4XP scenery. The ending of the flight is Orbix True Earth for the state of Florida. All right, looks like we can just park right here in front of this big boy. I don't think he'll mind. All right, inert SEP comes off. Bring this up into, gosh, that's loud. Flight idle, right there. Cut off our taxi light. Strobes are off, panel light can come off. And we'll bring these trims down, autopilot down. Shut this thing off. Come down to low idle. Let that hold for about 15 seconds. AC and bleeds come off, and we'll shut her all the way down. Set our parking brake. Cancel the caution. Cancel the caution. Our fuel pressure is low. The pump came on. And that's what we want. And so we'll bring that down to off. Caution, caution. Those are loud. And it looks like everything is where we want it. I cut that little fan off right there. And let's bring the crash bar down. Open the door and get the heck out of here. Welcome to Florida, Sarasota, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with FS Mania. We'll see you on the outside. Okay, that'll do it for this episode of FS Mania. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you on the next one, which will more than likely be MSFS. So until then, from FS Mania, so long.
Scott 30, Pop, extend your downwind out, clear your base. It won't be long. Traffic TBM 3 mile final runway 14.